Hello and welcome to Adventures in VFK. This is Fairy Fanatic. And I don't know, I wanted to kind of introduce my new member of my backyard here, or my front yard. I guess this is my front yard, is my acorn bear statue. He's wooden bear acorn. He's actually a lamp, wooden bear acorn lamp. Okay, so I can go ahead and rotate him and his light will come on. There he goes. Isn't he cute? Okay, his light's on. All right, I got him out of the nut quest that I had not finished doing. So I went ahead and finished it up, and here's what I got. And the reason why I was finishing up my nut quest was because I want to continue on with my getting the ingredients that I'm going to need to put in the bottles, which these are dye ingredients. I haven't really started talking about that. We're working on getting the bottles now, but I do know that down the road I am going to need to have Mermaid Enchantment, and I have not started that. I don't have it yet, so I thought I would start that today. Just so you know, this is kind of part of the process of getting all of your crafting things, so you all kind of all your little ducks in a row, or all your little mermaids in a row. Because you need to have access to all these areas of the kingdom, and there are some areas that you can only go to, such as Merfolk Age, if you are a mermaid. All right, so let's start the mermaid quest. It's an epic quest, and we are looking for Merfolk Enchantment, which is right here. So here we go. Welcome to the VFK Merfolk Enchantment Epic Quest Day 1. This is the first day of your epic quest for Merfolk Enchantment. Throughout history, man has studied the oceans of the world and over time made many exciting discoveries relating to the science of the seas. In today's quest, we will explore a few of the interesting facts of how the oceans work and some of the history of man's exploration of the sea. Your reward for completing the first stage of this epic quest will be 1,000 credits and your first merfolk pin, the ocean pin. Start the quest. Okay. Oceanography, or the study of the oceans and seas, was first originated by Matthew Fontaine Maury in 1855. Maury had been appointed superintendent of the Depot of Charts and Instruments of the Navy Department in 1842. He developed a system which was used worldwide for recording the oceanographic data of merchant marine ships and naval ships. He wrote and had published the first textbook of modern oceanography based on his meteorological research, his charts, and his sailing directions. What was the name of his textbook? Oh my. Let's look and see if there's anything that just kind of jumps out at us. The seas and oceans, ocean navigation. It really wasn't that. He's looking for charts based on, let me see. Let's try this. Sorry. Oh well. Okay. So what about physical geography of the sea? Ah, there we go. Second try. That's not too bad. You know how I am with this? I am like a total spaz when it comes to quests. Okay, Maury lived in one of the most difficult time periods that our country has ever endured. On April 20th, 1861, Maury resigned from the Navy only 3 days after Virginia, the state where Maury was born in 1806, withdrew from the Union. His sympathies were with the South, and he became a commander in the Confederate States Navy. During his career in the war between the states, Maury acquired war vessels and experimented with electrical mines for harbor defense. Go to the waterfall room in the Australian outback and say, I wonder if there are any mines there. Copy this out. And we're going to the waterfall in Australia. And let's change into a ferry because we can. And it makes you faster. Let's go to Australia. Here we go. There's some updates to the zoo too that are pretty exciting. But I don't have time for those today. I'm going to go and do this first. Polar bears and, oh gosh, something else. All right, let's see. Okay, it's bringing up our next step. Oceanography is a wide-ranging field of study. It encompasses all of the major scientific disciplines, including physical, chemical, biological, geological, and geophysical studies of the oceans. One of the major scientific disciplines affected heavily by the oceans is meteorology. Most likely meteorology. Correct. Ah, okay. The oceans of the earth are influenced by many factors. The heat of the sun and the rotation of the earth cause massive movements on the earth's oceans and atmosphere. This interaction between the sun and the earth causes the major weather patterns and systems of the world. The heat of the sun causes evaporation from the oceans and develops clouds and such precipitation as rain and storms. Also, the sun's heat creates convection currents in the oceans. In light of how important understanding the sun is to the science of oceanography and our climate, go to the waterfall room in Audubon's wildlife adventure game and say, "The sun makes all the difference." Okay. We're going to Audubon's wildlife adventure game. That's in Western Age. Let's go up here. Oh my. I don't remember which room. Was it the desert? Let's get it back up here. Waterfall room. Okay. Waterfall room. Tranquil Waterfall, that's over here. Okay. And here we are. I'm going to get on my dragon and go around and get some of this stuff. Okay, but first of all, let's go ahead and do this. Okay, for many centuries, mariners have known that the ocean has currents that move in relatively consistent directions. Ancient Spanish galleons, which carried treasures such as gold and silver to Spain from Mexico, used the Gulf Stream to enable them to go back home. In 1772, what American founding father utilized logbooks from ships to craft a map of this current? I'm going to say it was Benjamin Franklin. Correct. Yeah, I knew he had something to do with that. The Gulf Stream is a very strong ocean current. It brings warm water to the higher latitudes from the tropics. Very early maps of the Gulf Stream were produced using low-tech methods. In today's world, remote sensing technology on satellites above the Earth enables scientists to see the Gulf Stream's features and map the changes in its location. Go to Ned Kelly's hideout where there is a smaller current and stream and say this current is fast. Okay, but going back to Ned Kelly's, we've been there collecting reedies already. Ned Kelly's hideout. Here we go. Australia. Here we come. Okay, let's go to Ned Kelly's. He's over here, kind of down here. And say, look, our reedies are back. Ooh. Ocean currents occur at all depths of the ocean. In many parts of the ocean, more than one current exists and flows in different directions at varying depths. This complex current system is driven by the sun and the rotation of the planet. The sun can affect the ocean in two primary ways. The first way is by heating the atmosphere and causing winds. The winds move the sea by friction. They blow along the surface of the water and heavily affect the top layer of the water. How deep does the influence of the wind affect the ocean waters? You know what? I'm going to say I'm going to take this one, 185 feet, although it's probably 10. I'm going to say 10 next. All right, we know this is Benjamin Franklin. And we've got this. And we have to say this current is fast. Let's say that here. All right, now we can continue on. And we can take our 10 feet. Did I take 10 feet? No, I took, okay, let's do 185 this time. Sorry, that answer is incorrect. Oh my. Let's do this again. Continue. Say it in the room. And what do you think? 325? Ah, okay. Sometimes it just takes trying it again and again. Okay, the second way the sun affects the ocean is to alter the density of the surface water by heating the water and thus changing its salinity, which is the amount of salt found in the water. When water cools or evaporates, it becomes saltier and thus denser. This difference in density can make a column of water unstable and cause what is referred to as density-dependent currents. This movement is also referred to as thermohaline circulation. Go to the livery stable in the Wild West age and say there is a lot of evaporation going on here. You know, there is so much information in these quests. It's just unbelievable. Going to Wild West livery stable. Okay, let's go. West is over here. And the livery stable is right here, right in the top. I'll get everything ready and say this here. Livery stable, we're here. There's Wild West. Let's try it again. Maybe we need to go in here. Try another location. Let's see if it might be in here. Ah, it is. Okay, the rotation of the Earth plays a very large role in the currents of the oceans. The way that the rotation of the Earth affects ocean currents is by what is known as the Coriolis Force. In the northern hemisphere, the Coriolis Force makes water swirl to the right and swirl to the left in the southern hemisphere. This force occurs because the motion of the ocean water is acted on by friction with the ocean floor. Water at the equator moves at the same speed as the Earth. If the water begins to move to the north, without friction it would go faster than the Earth under it. In order to conserve momentum, the water goes in a more easterly direction the further it gets from the equator. What does the Coriolis force do as you move away from the equator? I know it kind of decreases. I think it's going to say it decreases. Nope, that wasn't it. All right, we know that this was this. And this is this. And we're going to say, let's say it becomes unstable. Sorry. You know, one of these times I'm going to go through and do it. The problem is I can't go through in advance and do it for you and then still play it. So you're going to have to put up with me doing this. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going to say that the Coriolis increases. Okay. Oh my. But there really is a lot of information here. You kind of have this little mini like oceanography course here. The pattern of surface currents in the ocean shows a circular eddy in each ocean basin. On the western side of the basin, strong narrow currents are found in the large currents, the Gulf Stream, Curacao, Brazil, and East Australian currents, to name a few that flow up to 6 miles an hour. The speed of the current moving away from the western side of the basins are slower and wider. Due to the Coriolis force, in the northern hemisphere, the currents rotate clockwise, and in the southern hemisphere, they rotate counterclockwise. Go to the Victorian Park and say, "Go clockwise, my friend." Okay, Victorian Park. Let's go here. Going to Victorian Age. Here we go. Heading on over to Victorian Age. It has a ferry. And we're going to the park. Careful not to fall into any place. I always fall into places here. It's so silly. All right, let's go. We're going over here. Ah, there we go. Summer park. Although right now it's not a summer park. It's a winter park, as you can see. Hey, press continue to finish the quest. Wow, that was good. Okay, thank you for playing the VFK Merfolk Enchantment Epic Quest Day 1. Your prizes have been placed in your inventory. Let's go back to our room. Oh, look at all these bushes out here. Go back to the room. Go to room. And let's look what we have. It's going to be in our pins, I guess. Let's see. Should be at the end. And this is our Merfolk Ocean pin. Let's go ahead and select it up here so we can see it better. Very pretty. Okay, I guess I'm going to have to take all my Christmas pins off and start my Merfolk pins. So that'll take me a little bit to do. So, well, I guess it won't take me too long. So we start taking these off. We'll put our Merfolk ons on when we get a chance here. And kind of start from scratch. There's a lot of people that go ahead and they do a lot of decorating with their pins. It's just amazing. I mean, they put together pins in such a way that you'd be shocked. They'll have, they get multiple pins of one or another. Some people even have all VIP pins. It's great. Okay, well, that's our first day of our Merfolk quest. And like I say, you need to remember that this is something that you're going to need. So you probably want to get your Merfolk quest started if you haven't already in order to do some crafting. And I understand that I'm kind of putting crafting all together in kind of a, it's kind of a bundled approach. It's not that you can't do one thing at a time and pick one pattern and pick the items that you want and go get those items. But this is kind of a broad swath at crafting. When you get done with these episodes, you'll be able to craft anything. And in the meantime, just collect up everything you can and you'll be prepared for pretty much anything that they throw at you. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.